Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
On our media line now is Lance Metzler, Rockingham County Manager. Hey, Lance, and Happy New Year.
Good morning, Mike. Happy New Year to you.
Well, good to start the new year talking to you, and I know everyone's talking about the vaccine, so that's your topic today, and it just started yesterday with those shots here in Rockingham County. So bring us up to date. How did that go on the first day, and where are we in all of this?
All right, so there are several different phases. The phase 1A included the first responders, EMS, law enforcement, rescue, and fire. So they have been distributed. We've still got a few more to do this Saturday. And the next 1B was 75 and older, and that was yesterday. So let me just preface this by saying that we can only administer how many doses that we get of the vaccine. So we have a total of 700 doses that we have. We have to save 100 for this upcoming weekend. 150 for this upcoming weekend because we have some last first responders we got to give the second shots to. Mm-hmm. So yesterday we originally were going to start at 10 and go from 10 to 2 administering these vaccinations, and so we're going to only provide 400. And I talked with my public health director and asked some questions. So we said, okay, let's give as many as we can today because we got a lot of people out there. So we went from 400 to 600 doses to give out yesterday. And instead of starting at 10, since we had so many people lined up, we started at 9. So actually we went from 9 in the morning till 6 p.m. last night, giving out 600 doses, which, I've heard some concerns and some complaints and some issues about the wait time. But this is the first pandemic we've had since 1918. In 1918, we had the influenza pandemic. So this is uncharted territory for a lot of us, and it was our first time doing this. So in my opinion, with the staff, with the logistics that we had a well-worked thing, understanding it took a long time. However, we tried to make as much accommodations as possible. We had porta potties out there. We went out there with water. We went out there with food. We went out there to, we had one person that needed to use the restroom and couldn't access the porta potties, so we took them over to one of our facilities. The community college worked well with us. They used the restrooms over there. We had one guy that had an issue with oxygen. He was running out of oxygen with his oxygen tank, so my fire marshal went over to the office, got another tank to help him out. So I think that we did a very good job considering this is the first time that we have been through a pandemic and had such a mass amount of vaccines that we had to provide yesterday.
Well, I'm glad to get that firsthand account from you because it's good to know that, you had 5 extra hours there yesterday. So you were very accommodating, it sounds like. Well,
yeah, and you see things. Anytime you do anything, you're going to have people that are naysayers that are frustrated. And I understand the frustration. I mean, waiting for that long of time, but there's no way. Think about 600 people. When you go to the doctor's office and you're waiting from 45 minutes to an hour, you've only got 3 people in front of you, and we had to give out 600 shots in one day. So that's a lot to give out within one day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to add up the numbers here. Now, you said you had 700 doses. So that's to use when? Now, I know you said 150 left over for the weekend for some of those first responders. So give me the numbers again.
So we had 700 yesterday, mm-hmm. and we're supposed to get in 200 today.
Okay.
So that's a total of 900. We gave out yesterday. We gave out 600. We saving 150 for the first responders, and we're going to give out another 150 tomorrow.
Okay. So 150 tomorrow for Thursday.
Yes, so it should be a lot quicker tomorrow. So it will be kind of like on a first come, first served basis. Mm-hmm. But what I would say is one good thing that we're going to from here on out is we're going to go to appointment either online or over the phone, which will make it a lot easier. So we're going to go do it in 30-minute increments. We're going to do 10, and it all depends. Make sure the listeners know it all depends on how much doses we get from the state. I mean, the state is going to give us 200 right now. They could give us 1,000. They could give us 100. I mean, we can't really know until they tell us how many they're going to give us. Mm-hmm. I've requested yesterday. I requested an additional 400 doses personally to Dr. Cohen. I told her I would drive up there today if I needed to, so we can get more out. But I haven't heard a response back. We're trying to do it as much as we can. We realize the importance and significance, especially to those of our population that are most vulnerable to adverse effects from this virus.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. So you really don't know from day to day how many doses you'll get, it sounds like.
We're at the whim of the state. We have no idea how many we're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like, all things considered, it sounds like that first day, yep, there were some long waits, but you went above and beyond what you were starting out to do. So it sounds like you did a great job.
Well, you know what? The ones that aren't satisfied with what happened, and I understand. I mean, certainly waits are difficult, but out of all out of some of the negative comments, we had probably 20 times more compliments yesterday from people out there. They were very understanding. They understood that the mass that we had to deal with. They understood that it was going to take time, and they were very appreciative. I mean, people would walk down the line talking to people. They were even the people who we had to turn away about 100 cars yesterday, which was very unfortunate. We didn't want to do it, but if you only have 600 doses to give out, that's all you've got. And even the ones that got turned away were like, well, we appreciate you, and we'll come back and get it the next time. So, I appreciate the folks out there that were very patient, that were very complimentary of how we did it, and certainly want to encourage those that want to get it, that we'll have a sign up online. If you can't do it online, then we'll certainly have you can call in and get appointments.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, they're just this is very challenging and difficult. Never done this before, so we're learning as we go along, aren't we?
Yes, sir, we are, and I think we learned a lot from yesterday. We're going to have a debriefing today at 11 with all those involved to kind of discuss, what we did good, where we could improve. Again, this is the first time. It's a learning experience, and I'm glad we learned it now, because in phase 3 are students, which will be somewhat easier because we can go into the school systems and administer the doses there. And then phase 4 is everybody. Phase 2 is next. Phase 2 are the frontline workers that aren't the first responders. Phase 3 are the students, and phase 4 is going to be everybody else. That's going to be the area where we're going to have. It's going to be difficult, but we've learned from this experience. So ideally what we're going to look at doing is working with the municipalities, have a remote area in Reedsville, a remote area in Eden, a remote area on the western side, and a remote area in Wentworth. So we're all working together. We're all doing this at one time. But again, it goes back to how many doses the state's going to give us. Are they going to give us, 500 per week, or are they going to give us 2,000 per week? We've got 91,000 citizens here. Not all the citizens are going to want to get the vaccination, but I would assume that a vast majority would want to get the vaccination, so we're going to have to be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm, sure. Well, I wanted to get. Do you have a timeline? You mentioned, students and then everyone else. Do we know the date the students will be getting those?
No, we're kind of dependent on the state. The state gives us that directive. 1A they gave it to us. 1B they gave it to us. Phase 2, they're going to let us know when. Phase 3, phase 4. So we're kind of again at the whim of the state to figure out when they're going to tell us when to enter in the next phase.
This has got to be frustrating for someone like you who is organized, plans ahead, everything kind of in place, to have these unknowns. But this whole thing, almost a year now, has been full of unknowns, hasn't it?
It has been. I mean, it's frustrating because, with me, I like to plan, as a manager, I like to plan well in advance. The budget, we're starting the budget process now, and it's not due till June, so that's a 6-month planning process. And it's just, it is frustrating because there's a lot of unknowns, and things are changing all the time with this particular virus. It's hitting all over the place. It's running rapid through North Carolina, through Rockingham County, and I think this virus, this vaccine is very important to those who are, particularly those who are most vulnerable. We want to make sure that they get secured. We had two older ladies that were crying. They said they had been in their home for ever since March, and they haven't been able to see family or friends. They've had family and friends that have died, and they were just so thankful that they were having an opportunity to get the vaccine and to come and get it again, so that they can get back out and go, at least go to church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and this is very personal to you for those that may not know, because you've been there, you've gone through this with COVID, so you know firsthand.
Yeah, and fortunately, I'm fairly young, so the symptoms were very strong to me. I couldn't imagine being an older adult to go through what I went through, but my wife had it. Now I just found out my mother and father-in-law both have it, and they're over the ages of 75. So, we got to monitor them and make sure they're okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Lance, thank you and your team for working through this and making it happen. As challenging as it is for our citizens in Rockingham County. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you. And again, if anybody has any questions, they can call up here. But again, I would encourage those that aren't going to be here tomorrow to get online, to either get online or call up here, and we'll have that information. We're going to put a press release out later on today or tomorrow to let the individuals know on how they can make an appointment.
Okay. Well, we got it firsthand here, and I appreciate the information. Thank you, Lance. I appreciate you, and hope know it's a crazy year as we start off again, but wish you all the best in 2021.
Thank you, Mike. Have a great day, and look forward to talking to you again.
You bet. Thank you, Lance.
Bye-bye.
All right. Lance Metzler, Rockingham County Manager. So for all of you that had been wondering about this, and Tuesday with that first day for giving out those vaccines here in Rockingham County, a lot of posts on social media about that. So there's the information there, how everything went, how everything is going, and what they're learning on this from a county manager, Lance Metzler. Let me get in a quick plug for Rockingham County Governmental TV. If you have Spectrum, you have it. In fact, I have it on right now here in my studio, watching Channel 1304. That's Rockingham County Government, Channel 1304. Lots of great information, county information, 24/7. And for more information, too, online, you can go to myrockinghamcountync.com. And I'm Mike Moore. Thank you for listening.